your Neepawa Town Council Debrief for the September 17th, 2024 meeting. This week, Council held a fairly abbreviated meeting as a couple of the councillors were absent. Because of this, we were able to give you the Council meeting in its entirety in the debrief this week. But first, a few things to note in particular. Alongside other upcoming events, Councillor Sisley reminds the community that there will be an Indigenous Culture Day on Friday, September 27th, with learning stations and a powwow presentation as well as greetings from several dignitaries. The event is free and open to the public, with the first presentation at 9:45 a.m. and the second at 1 p.m. It will also be attended by hundreds of students from several schools within the Beautiful Plains School Division. CAO St. reports on behalf of Denise Kay with updates on various infrastructure projects around town, including the Main Street Drainage Project, which is nearly complete, and an emergency water repair on Mountain Avenue, which put part of the street out of commission over the weekend. Both his report and Deputy Mayor Parrott note that the town is aware there are several paving projects that have yet to be completed. However, there are a limited number of paving companies available with competing demands on their time. As Parrott says, they are doing their best to get these jobs completed for residents. Finally, they discuss potential further development in the area which used to be the parking lot at the old co-op location and now houses the training center, Grid Force Fitness, and several community agencies, including Settlement Services and Westlake Employment. While nothing is planned to be built in the near future, the town needs to delineate where the public lane runs through that block, as the entire area is currently used for vehicles and parking. Residents might see some indicators of lanes and designated parking areas in the near future.
Hey, good evening, everybody. September 17th, Neepawa Council Meeting. I'll call it to order at 7:03. First item up is the approval of the agenda. Everyone has looked at the agenda. Be it resolved that we hereby approve the regular meeting agenda for September 17th, 2024. Moved by Councillor Pottinger, seconded by Councillor Nadeau. All those in favor? And that is carried. Second item up, be it resolved that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting held September 3rd, 2024 as circulated. Moved by Councillor Girard, seconded by Councillor Sisley. All those in favor? And that is carried. Next item up is council reports. Do we have any council reports around the table? Councillor Sisley.
So September 27th, which is next Friday, is Indigenous Culture Day in Neepawa. The town of Neepawa has partnered with Arts Forward to host Indigenous Culture Day at the Flats. It is a free community event. The day is filled with learning stations. There will be 2 powwow presentations. The first powwow presentation will start at 9:45 a.m. We will have the Honorable Glenn Simard and Mayor Headley will be there for that powwow presentation, and then the second one will be at 1 p.m. It is open to the public. It looks like it's going to be a perfect day for it weather-wise, so we're very excited about that one. Neepawa Recreation will have a booth at Neepawa Connects at the Yellowhead Hall. This is being put on by Miles for Mental Health. We're encouraging, it's on October 7th, we're encouraging the community to come out from 4 to 8 p.m. for this. It is an event that will have everything under the sun for health and wellness, including physiotherapists and dentists and all different organizations, so that the community can see what we have in the community and who to contact for different services. There is a babysitting course registration that is open. The babysitting course will be October 25th, so check out the Neepawa Recreation website for that one. We are an age-friendly community, and with being deemed that, we can now apply for the age-friendly grant. Through the grant application, the town has partnered with Handyman, Hand, and Arts Forward to bring some great activities to our seniors. So watch for more info on that one in late December. We should hear about the grant December 15th. And lastly, I just wanted to mention Your Town Rising. I had the opportunity to do the walkabout last Thursday morning with the consultants that were hired by the Yellowhead Corridor. And then there was the town meeting that night. It was a very interesting meeting. They had lots of suggestions for businesses and organizations on what they could do to improve and bring in more people in town, improve storefronts, the facades, attract more people off the Yellowhead Highway into town. It was a very, very interesting meeting. There is somewhat of a group that's being set up to help decorate and get some ideas for our uptown area. So if you're interested in helping out with that, you can contact our EDO, Marilyn Crew.
That was a good thing.
Nothing to report this.
September 15th, I represented the town on Sunday afternoon at the Neepawa Area Pride picnic. Phenomenal event. There was somewhere I would estimate between 200 or 300 people in attendance for the picnic. It was well attended from all walks of life, from a broader region than just Neepawa itself. Heard some inspirational stories, past residents, Victoria Jangles, who had mentioned her story as she had transitioned and why she had felt she'd had to leave our community 10 years ago, and how positive it was to see the changes that Neepawa has made, and congratulations to the Neepawa Area Pride for putting that at the forefront and just making a great family event that day.
Prompter? Okay, I guess I can report that I went to the street festival in Boys Vein and took lots of notes and pictures and made a report to Councillor Sicily at Arts Forward, as well as our new rec director, Sandra. And Lions Club there ran their little go-kart derby thing. And the street part, they had all these professional, like a face painter, guy doing caricatures, the temporary tattoos, and there's one other guy. There was free food, free popcorn, lots of free games, some of it being run by the youth group. And what ended up happening is from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock, it was packed all day. And then they had a street band that evening, so it was really well run. Councillor Sicily informed me that somebody also went to the Sandy Lake one to take notes. And so all this has been absorbed by our group and hopefully be used for future events. Department reports.
Of course, Denise K is away this evening at a conference, so very quickly, town crews have been busy with the most of our seasonal staff now either going on to other ventures or school. The town crews, along with some assistance from our contractors, have installed a good portion of the drainage project on Main Street. Everybody would have noticed the pylons up there, and of course for the safety of the workers. And this project will actually see some additional attention as we do some additional locates in that area. We did an emergency water repair over the weekend on Mountain Avenue near the daycare by the school. The leak was discovered last week, but we waited till the weekend so that we didn't interrupt nursery school. Park staff were actually present for a Tree Canada and Home Hardware press release again, announcing additional funds allocated to the town of Neepawa for community trees, and we appreciate the interaction we have with Home Hardware and the value of those trees, $3,800 funding. The wastewater plant commissioning is still ongoing. Staff have been doing an incredible job adapting to the new treatment process, and of course we will be wrapping that project up as the training is completed and we make sure they work through the operations and create their processes and whatnot. The raw water well project, which will see a twinning of a water line, a 300 millimeter line coming from over on well into the plant, is the tender has gone out for that. And then just quickly for the hospital, phase 1 hospital servicing is complete. That's the portion of the servicing that we did with Swift Underground. Phase 2 of the servicing is 80% complete. This is a portion that's being conducted by Rob Smith and Son, which takes it directly into the parcel on the southwest of 34. Waiting on some supplies and what the genset and the electrical is remaining on the lift station and the connection to hydro. After that, and currently in the works, is the land drainage, just finalizing based on where we're going to situate roads and where the east-west road is going to come out. In finality, the materials are being ordered this week. And of course, then once land drainage gets started, the road work will be going ahead as well, hopefully in conjunction with or right directly thereafter. And then after that, of course, there's hydro, street lights, all of the final things that you have to connect to before we slot any paving into the queue, which we can hopefully do for bid it out and tender that for next year. So it's progressing along. It's a slow project, but getting there.
All right, with that, we'll move on to new business. We have a subdivision application. Be it resolved that we approve subdivision application 4437-2385-74 of Zen Developments Limited to subdivide off a piece of property in the southwest corner of Lot E, Block 2, Plan 62813, in Southwest 3314 and 15 West. And be it further resolved that the property owner be required to demonstrate that upon subdividing off the proposed lot, all the parking requirements can be met for the residual property to accommodate the uses therein. Now I'd ask CA suggestion to speak on this.
So the applicant Zen Developments Limited proposes on subdividing a particular lot of roughly 60 feet by 80 feet in the southwest corner of the property, more commonly known as where the old co-op was situated. And it's to orient everybody a little bit. It is a piece of property north of the training center and north of a public lane that exists beyond that. And it would front on First Avenue. So this application was actually submitted last year as, you know, the potential for creating a lot for sale to somebody that might want a commercial business. They chose to sit on this particular application for a while, but the investment in it to get plans drawn up, they decided to proceed and just conclude the subdivision. It will be subdivided off and available at some point for sale. This came through as a minor subdivision application, which means that it doesn't need to go for circulation in the province of Manitoba. It is pretty simple. You will meets and bounds off the corner of the property, and they will still be required to meet all of the plans of subdivision required by Terranet Manitoba. Of course, all the easements by either hydro or MTS and whatnot. And the biggest thing is that council take a look at this and decide what they want to do insofar as we do have to approve it or deny it. When reviewing this particular application in conjunction with the Neepawa Area Planning District, our concerns would bode more to the parking, hence why you'll see the second paragraph in the resolution. We would like that the proponent take a look at what exists or what the residual will be after this parcel is removed from that, because we all know parking over there is just random. People park all over the place. The next concern would be such that the way the parking currently exists is kind of ad hoc parking. When we built the training center over there, the ability to get the licensed practical nursing course over here came with several criteria of meeting the specs for size of a building, the size of the rooms, and the fact that we could provide parking space for 25 students should the need arise. So as of right now, we may not need parking. We actually own a lot right to the north of our own training center. You'll notice in the past it was a skateboard area. We had to designate that would be parking for our students. So we're recommending to council that as part of approving this subdivision, the proponent take a look at the residual of the property, that they meet all compliance for the accommodated uses that exist on that property currently, and that we actually take action knowing that development potential could exist there either now or 5 years down the way or who knows when, that we start to delineate out the fact that we have some public lanes back there, that everybody in the business section on Mountain, on the west side of Mountain actually is infringing on the back lane right now, that we need to start identifying, outlining where those parking lanes are, where the back lanes are, where the rights of ways are, and whether we do that by painting the yellow paint to get people starting to be accustomed to that. We also recommend as administration and management here that we also delineate off our parking lot to make sure that we do have the availability for student parking for 25 students, because as we all know, we're trying to chase a second course there, and I don't want ACC or the province to say you're no longer meeting the specs. So if there's any discussion on that.
You know, initially when I first saw the subdivision application, I guess my hackles kind of went up a little bit just to see, because of the concern of parking in the area, but because there is no imminent plans of construction in there, it's still going to remain as an empty space for the time being. You know, anyone developing in that area, having a building, they are responsible for 1.5 parking spots per 500 square feet. So I guess at that time, when that sale comes through and someone comes and puts through that building or development there, I mean, as long as we're protected, that we know we can enforce those parking mandates there, I have no problem with this application.
Any further comments? Okay, the resolution has been read. Do we have a mover? Councilor Gerard, seconder. Councilor Pottinger, all those in favor? And that is carried. Okay, and our next one is our cemetery maintenance and fees. And that's the first reading, and this is something that the staff present on a regular basis to make sure that we are current with current conditions. Be it resolved that bylaw number 323224 being a bylaw of the town of Neepawa providing for the regulation, maintenance, care, and operation of the Neepawa Riverside Cemetery be now read for the first time. Moved by Councilor Nadeau, seconded by Councilor Sisley. All those in favor? And that is carried. And one thing that should be mentioned is, yes, we are trying very hard to get our street work completed, but there's only so many paving companies in town who are all, or in the province, who are all affected by the spring rains and the poor weather. And so everybody's fighting to get the same people. But we're doing our best. Okay, if there's no further things. Anything you want to add on? Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Neepawa do now adjourn this regular council meeting at 7:17. All those in favor?
If you have comments, questions, or topics you'd like NACTV to dig into a little further and provide some additional information, please contact us at 204-476-2639 or by email at nactvnews@gmail.com. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.